Part 3. I am Stonecrest, by the way. I'm not a city official. All right. And so when I say I am Stonecrest, I go by the alias Stonecrest, and I reside in the city of Stonecrest. Okay. I'm very supportive of Stonecrest and all of what we have. Uh, uh, I like to consider myself pretty active. My wife and my children, we support a lot of the state organizations, the private organizations here in the city, of course, the local businesses, um, the high school, the elementary schools, to the best of our ability, right? And when I say I am Stonecrest, I am Stonecrest, right? Some people that grew up with me, they call me something else. The ones that know me by my government name, they know me by my government name. My signature hat that I'm not currently wearing right now. That's anyway. I got many aliases, all right, but Stonecrest is one of them, and I am and can be my own worst enemy at times. Part 3 and the final part, and like I said, I'm gonna keep it brief. It won't be as long as part 1 and part 2. Check out part 1 and part 2 of Stonecrest's worst enemy. I started off talking about us as a city, being our own worst enemy. I talked about blacks slash African American being their own worst enemy, and us as human as a whole, we are our own worst enemy. And so I made an example in part 2. I talked about how I think, my opinion, how I believe, or how it seems, I should say, that God and the devil is like one and the same. Basically, you can't have one without the other. If every day was a rainy day, what is a sunny day? If every day was a sunny day, what is a rainy day? We wouldn't know. All right. If everything was good, we wouldn't know of bad. All right. So I talked about the duality, and I even talked about self-hatred, and I offered the solution of surrendering the ego. When I say surrendering the ego, we live in a world where beauty standards is determined by the powers that be, or these powerful corporations slash entities. They set the beauty standard, and so a lot of people try to thrive to have a certain level of beauty. And in the process of defining beauty or being beautiful, a lot of people lose themselves, right? You have a lot of people nowadays, they wear wigs, for style, for convenience, okay? And to each his own. We've always been a big thing for the last 4 or 5 decades. Even the fake lashes. It was a time where the celebrities, they would wear the fake lashes, and you couldn't tell them from the real, the real from the fake. And all of this ties into the duality in which I talked about in part 1 and part 2. This duality in which we live. You got real and you got fake. You have God, you got the devil. You have rainy days, you have sunshine. You have heads, you have tails. You got the bright side of the moon, the dark side of the moon. All right, you guys get the picture. And so I made an example of how I think, this duality is one and the same. And some may have, see it as far-fetched. I use the example, John Doe, or I use myself, okay. We'll say John Doe, all right? John Doe has a child. John Doe love his or her child. It could be a he or her. And we'll say, his or her, right? And John Doe love his child. And anyways, child get of age and decide, okay, he want to transition and become a woman, or vice versa. The female decide, it wants to be a male. And on one end, you love your child. That would be the good side. And then the bad side would be you have to play along and accept the lie. Right? One and the same. And I say one and the same because on one end, hey, I love you so much that I know you was born biologically a male, but now you claiming to be a female when I know you was born biologically a male. So it's almost like you like insulting my intelligence. Like I mean, it's like it's like see I don't like I'm kind of like lost for words already. It's like you calling me crazy. Like I know you're a male, but you're trying to convince me you're female, or vice versa. You're a female, but then you're trying to convince me I'm a male. So you calling me stupid? you understand what I'm saying? So I love you so much that I know you was born biologically a male, but then I accept that I accept you transitioning to a female, and vice versa. You was born biologically female, but I have to accept you transitioning into a male. And as confusing as it sounds, I mean, it's the world we live in, and we all are blessed with the gift of free choice, and I can use many examples. You was born silver spoon, middle class, and with your mom and your dad, we raised you, to the best of our ability. Make sure you had a spiritual background, a solid foundation. Make sure you had a meal, clothes on your back, all of what you needed to get out here and thrive and have a head start at life. But then you chose gangster rap, like you some thug or some gangster, when we know you grew up upper middle class. So it's many examples, and so it's not to go in on anyone from the LGBTQ plus community, because many of us these are our family members, these are our neighbors, these are our co-workers, and they are human. All right, they're deserving of love, and respect. Okay. And with that being said, like I said, so many examples, I won't be able to go through them all right. So again, when I say blacks are blacks' own worst enemies, some will argue in the black community or the African American community or Hebrew community or Moorish community or Jamaican community or Haitian community, whichever ethnicity you go by. I'm gonna say black to, for the dark skinned people. How's that? Black. All right. I'm gonna say black for the dark skinned people, whether you're Haitian, Jamaican, Moorish, Hebrew, African American, African, uh, indigenous. All right. Yeah. So y'all get it, right? Okay. So many of us say, you know what? Due to what we've gone through, centuries of what we've gone through with this oppressor and this colonizer. I mean, the system that was designed, this whole European way of thinking, adopting other cultures, and other people ways, and way of thinking and the way of doing things is what again tainted us, or have us in the bond, have us in the situation that we're in. And that's a pretty good argument, because on one end, I mean, the colonizers, I mean, if you look at Africa for an example, okay, 54 countries in Africa, 53 out of 54 been colonized. And not only have 53 out of 54 been colonized, but here's the real kicker. Africa as a continent has been destabilized, right? Destabilized so they can be doggone stifled out of all of their resources, from spices, diamonds, gold, oil, cobalt, what's this stuff that they are, the sulfur, for, that's for the fertilizer, and just all of the minerals and all of their resources. I mean, this is the last wild continent of the seven, and it's basically untouched. But you have the French, you have the Portuguese, you have the British, and now you have China over there now. So it's not to just say, it's the Europeans. They colonized the bulk of the countries. So, like I say, that's a pretty good argument. And even, when you look into the history books, all of what's been done, meaning as a people and as a race, to say, we're going to build a community, and we're going to work hard, we're going to invest our money, we're going to have our own medical institutions, our own schools, we got our own oil rigs. And anyone who's never heard of Greenwood, which is a community out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that they call Black Wall Street, out in Tulsa, that was just one community of many all over the country that was thriving and doing well for themselves. And again, through group economics. And what you'll notice is the majority, well, not the majority, all of these communities that were thriving, Black communities, African American communities, they was basically wiped out by you know who. And a lot of time when we talk about it, people don't want to hear what we have to say about it. And I'll say this bit because, like I said, I'm not here to argue and stir up no controversy. I mean, outside of what's already been stirred up and been going on for hundreds of years. And I mean, not decades, but hundreds of years. This whole back and forth and this whole black and white and Christian black codes and, redlining and discriminating and prejudice and racism. What I will say is a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So it's only a matter of time. So what we've experienced, it's only a matter of time that, you'll look up and it'll be happening to you because it's already starting to happen. So a lot of times, we hear slavery, we think of, what the whites did to the blacks. I mean, one of the worst holocausts in the world. I mean, one of the longest lasting holocausts ever. A lot of free labor, a lot of unpaid free labor. A lot of trauma. Post-traumatic. I mean, it's documented, guys. Just it's nothing I'm making up. I mean, looking at history books, I mean, it is documented. And a lot of folks will argue, hey, what about what you guys do to each other? Look at what happened in Rwanda in '95. With the genocide. And truth be told, you can't go to a war without money. Someone had to sponsor that. Same thing happened in Cambodia. Someone has to sponsor that war. I mean, you need money to go to war. And so, in fact, if you do enough research, the Germans, they had their hands in that. I give you guys this, I give you guys that, and then y'all have at it, So I'm gonna get out of the way. So now let me play devil advocate because now we're living in a time where, again, we have a 1.2 trillion spending power, and I can be wrong. Go behind me, y'all. I'm positive we in a trillion, and we living in the most powerful nation in the world. So when it comes to weaponizing our dollar, many of us we're not doing it due to the whole what I call whitewashing. So we seek validation. A lot of the European symbols, they own us now. When you look at Mercedes-Benz symbol, when you look at the BMW symbol, when you look at Cadillac, all of these are like European. When you look at a lot of the 5-star hotels, when you look at social media, when you look at technology, Yeah, so a lot of the money leave our community, and we don't know how to weaponize our dollar. And many of us are not acquainted or never even heard of group economics. Meaning, okay, let's spend the money and let's empower ourselves. Okay, let's invest our money. So many of us, we have to be taught financial literacy. So we're living in a time where we could apply ourselves and we can learn how to weaponize our dollar. And so this is where we come together because there's power in numbers. So many of us are distracted. It's a lot of distractions out here from theme parks, drugs, females, the media, television, social media, all sorts of entertainments to distract us from the real focus. And the real focus is to have a capitalistic society. We need someone to be at the bottom. Who's going to work the machines? Who's going to make the sandwiches? Who's going to sweep and clean the toilet bowls? And who's going to shovel the sand? And who's going to labor? And so we have a group of people who's been conditioned to do just that for the nation to thrive. And so in this case, it just happens to be the lower class people. Who are the lower class people? The ones who's at the bottom of the totem pole, the ones who's behind the eight ball, the ones who got a late start, the ones who had to overcome certain obstacles. And and you can put whatever color you want to put on it. I mean, they can be Puerto Rican, they can be from South America, they can be from Mexico, they can be from Africa. So this day and age, we do have to again take some accountability because we are living in a different time. And if you want to read and learn more, if you want to save money and you want to be your best, we have a better shot now than ever before. So I encourage you. It's totally up to you. Get focused. Don't be your own worst enemy. Surrender the ego, and that's a start. Take advantage. Weaponize your dollar, support your community, and invest wisely. Blacks, I got to say this before it's all said and done. Like I say, I can't let you off the hook. And I said what I said about the oppressor and the colonizer. I can't let you off the hook. Each one have to teach one. We have to have these conversations. Right now, when it comes to European beauty standards, a lot of this weave is played out. It's got to go. The man been telling you, we've been saying it for years, and you got some who don't care, and that's not who you are. That's not who you are. All of the weave, the makeup, the fake lashes, the fake this, the fake that. Listen, it's misleading. The platform that you have, many of you, especially the rap artists, the whole, removing the what is it, the bridge of the nose and all of these surgery that's taking place. That all falls upon the self-hatred. It's something we can do about that. And if we have the conversations, maybe one will take the time to think about it, but not just get in their feelings and be offended because a person has an opinion and decide to speak on it. Right now, I mean, with as much makeup as women are wearing, you can't tell the difference between them and a transgender anymore. The transgender can go and you can put that weave on and that weave and that makeup on a potato, and it'll look identical to a transgender in today's modern woman. And so, it's going to be hard for you to fix your mouth to say anything about the oppressor or the colonizer and what they've done. Again, when you mimicking them, with this whole, perm, putting the chemicals on top of your brain, your skull, what's right there basically on your brain, and you're wearing as much weave and the wigs that you do. And that stuff is expensive too. It's expensive, that fake stuff for real. Guys, we ain't no better. I mean, the message we've been conveying in the rap music, it was one thing to tell our stories about how we lived our life and the things that we experienced from police brutality and drugs being dropped off in our communities, because like I said, we never owned no plane and no poppy fields, let alone coca leaves. We never owned any of that, let alone fly it into the country and cook it, you know, and distribute it. No, that was by design, all right. And like I say, I've met Freeway Ricky Ross. I interviewed the guy when he got out back in what was that, 2010 or 2012. Anyway, when he first got out of prison, I got one of the first interviews, because he was given credit, you know, of being you know, baking the first cookie. If y'all know it, you know, that's street terminology, but for those who know what that means or whatnot, or the whole freebasing. And anyway, he was a fall guy for the CIA, and they was working together. So that's how a lot of those drugs got over here, you know, assistance from the government. All right. And anywho, when it comes to what we do to ourselves, you know what I mean, for us perpetuating this vicious culture, or what we call culture, hip hop culture. I mean, degrading the women. Now the women degrading the men, and you know, it's back and forth, and men and women are at war. It's something we can do to fix that, because all of this time to us being our own worst enemy. The N word. You know what's crazy about the N word? Oh, hear me out. Oh, trust me. No, hear me out when I say what I'm fixing to say. The crazy thing about the N word is, people say whites put a lot of hate into that word, and it's a lot of blood on that word, and that word been used as a weapon. And what's crazy is, if they made up the word, they can't even use the word anymore. The word that they made up for us, they can't even use it anymore, or they'll get canceled or fired. And they the ones made up the word. But you want to know what's even worse than that, though? My whole life, man, doggone, more black people call me that word than whites. So how am I supposed to take offense if a white person call me that, when more black people my whole entire life since I've been born been calling me that word? So we got to take some accountability. That's something we can stop. I mean, if you got to replace it with ninja, if you got to replace it with something else fancy, a negro or negra, you know, espanol, you know, I mean, then that's what we have to do. But you know, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that they came up with the word and now they not even allowed to use it. But then my buddies or family members and can sit here and call me that 50, 11 times a day. That's how the women refer to their men. They don't call them, that's my king, that's my husband, that's my significant other. A lot of these women now, I'm gonna say females, not women. I'm sorry. I don't even want to get that misconstrued, because there's a difference between women, like especially real women, all right, and females, all right. So, but a lot of young females, you know, they listen to this rap, and you know, the media is powerful, all right. It's like they say, TV program. It's like it programs the mind of the people, you know, especially, you know, when you're in an impressionable stage, you know. And so, like I say, that can't go unnoticed, a lot of what we do in our communities, man. Like I say, and here I go again, and I'm finna say it for the last, well, not last time, but I'm gonna say it one more time, for the ones who didn't hear me. The city of Stonecrest is predominantly African American, 94%. The majority of the people that reside in Stonecrest, and the other 6% that make up Stonecrest, whether Asian, European, or whites, like I say, it's no knock to them. I mean, we a city and we residents together, you know. But when it comes to us being the majority, it's a lot we can do, because there's nowhere in the world you're supposed to sit and tell me in the Atlanta metro area, we are recognized as the Hollywood of the South, Black Hollywood. Atlanta have more black-owned businesses than any city or state in this country. Atlanta, Georgia metro area have more black businesses than any city and state in this country. All right. And when it comes to the amount of millionaires and the wealth that's here in this city, you're not going to sit here and tell me that our education system is failing at the rate it's failing at, and we ain't doing nothing about it. So, oh no, it's more than enough blame to go around, and these conversations have to be had. We have to talk about them, we have to address them, and we have to have boots on the ground, and we got to play our part. I told you we our own worst enemy. All of this time to us been our own worst enemy. So it's one thing to sit back and say, City of Stonecrest, Stonecrest is his own worst enemy, or blacks / African Americans are their own worst enemy, or people in general are their own worst enemy. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like I say, it's so much more that we do that we don't do that hurt us. So a lot of stuff that we doing, it goes against us. A lot of it, and it's more that we can do. That whole pointing the finger and woe is me and the blame game, and like I say, we at a space in life right now where we can, if you decide to read, you can read. If you decide to practice self-love and love yourself and who you are and how you was made and how God blessed you to be, and you're appreciative and you're thankful and grateful, then you can accept it. But right now, like I say, if you have a shallow mind and you've been taught and been made to think that light skin, I don't know if that's real or not, but have you ever seen Serena Williams lately? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Makeup galore. And, even the accent, it's like, are you from British or England now? I mean, you got that whole thing on lock over there, and we all seen what happened to Michael Jackson. We seen what happened to, what's that baseball player? The guy, where's he from? Is it Puerto Rico? No, he Dominican. Seen what happened to that guy, and it's been a fad lately, man. And these people, like I say, they have a platform, and people look up to them. Lil Kim, look at what she's, what's the other chick named? Nene Leakes. I think she was one of the Atlanta housewives, and young folks see this and they think, okay, in order for me to make it, I have something. This is what I have to do. What they did, go and get a nose job, change my hair, and we the only people in the world who hair grow like this. How unique, and I'm beginning to think that this falls up under self-hatred, and it's what we do to ourselves. So it's one thing to point the finger, and it's another to have boots on the ground and say, you know what, we got to start somewhere. All right, not get offended because I'm talking about it. I mean, like I say, it's going on. What I'm talking about, I mean, how you going to contest it? How you going to contest it? If you look in the history books, what I said about the Europeans, when I say Europeans, I mean, you got Germans, you got the Irish, you got the Russians, you got the Portuguese, you got too many of the names. I just say European. And then the same thing that I said, with the blacks, you got the Haitians, the Jamaicans, the Africans, the Hebrew, the original Hebrew, the Moors, and and so I just say black. All right, so I say black for the darker, and I say Europeans for the white. And so it's enough blame to go around. It's enough blame to go around. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It's controversial. And, if you're a business owner, you sure don't want to talk about it because, like I say, money is green. So, you don't want to address it. If you're a politician, then, of course, you got to stay within the boundaries, stay within the lines and the confinement. City officials the same, and so that's how those guys, they have to move. That's how they have to move. So again, yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. But when it comes to this whole women and men at war, regardless of color, and this whole division, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. But on a good note and a positive note, I will say this. Learn to live with the truth. Learn to live with the truth. Soul search. Love thyself, how you are. blemishes and all, scars, blemishes, chipped tooth, cavities. Hey, dark, light, pale, love yourself. If you're a loving person, then that's what you do. You put out love. The hateful people, they gonna be hateful. The dangerous people, they're gonna be dangerous. The peaceful people, they're gonna try and maintain and keep the peace. A lot of time people say, no, if a person peaceful to me, then that's when I exhibit peace. So therefore, it's like, how can you be a peaceful person if you just have to wait for somebody to, present peace to you? If you're peaceful, then be peaceful. If you're a loving person, I'm gonna wait for somebody to love me, then I'll show love. I hear women do that all the time. When a man is good to me, then I'm gonna be a good wife. If you're a good wife or you're a good woman and you're made to be a wife, then just be that. Just be that. Just be that. But no, So anyway, man, I can talk like this for days, man. Of course, I'm not gonna have many friends. This not what they want to hear. And like I say, it's not. It shouldn't be hurtful. It's only hurtful when you feel guilty. Now, if you say, forget what he's saying. I love my fake hair. I love wearing my makeup. Whether I look like a trans or whether I am a trans, and I mean, hey man, let's leave off on this note. I tell you what, let's leave off on this note. Let's set aside our differences for that one common goal. What's going to be that one common goal? Is it going to be peace? Is it going to be love? Is it going to be to empower one another? We have to set aside our difference. So remind you, if you of this fraternity group and this person of this fraternity group, set aside your differences. If you part of this sorority and this person part of this sorority, set aside your differences. If you're part of this religious group and this person part of this religious group / branch, set aside your differences for that one common goal: to respect humanity. Respect humanity, to push peace and love, and harness that the power within love and peace. And that way we can live harmonious. How you say it? Harmoniously. Harmonious. I don't even know how to say it right now. I'm trying to say harmony. Harmoniously. Harmoniously. Anyway, that's my time, man. Over and out. Have an open mind. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. And we need to have these conversations more often.